There's a modern ethos that's been prescribed from on high that everyone thinks that this homogenous prescription of being in shape is magically going to change your life. And I'm here to tell you that's an absolute crock of shit. Not everybody is designed to be in immense physical shape because a lot of people have an edge built outside of that. Do you understand? The fat guy, the conqueror, the drug addict, the anorexic, the drug addict, those are all the same people. They're all sublimating their energy and leaning into their edge. Fat guys are usually very jolly. They have an intense fire in their soul that manifests as food addiction and humor, right? Fat guys are often very funny as an adaptive mechanism. I had a mentee come to me and say, Brute, I've been a fat guy my whole life. I have a fucked up relationship with food. I don't know how to change it. How do I get in shape? I said, are you sure you want to do that? He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I hate to tell you, but you being a fat guy and having a fucked relationship with food, that's your edge. My next question was, are you funny? He said, of course I am. I said, exactly. The reason you are funny, the reason you are gregarious, the reason you are a social magistrate is because you're a fat guy. And the more you lean into that, the more spiritually healthy you'll be. And before you come at me and say, well, how can you tell someone to stay fat? Isn't that unhealthy? I hate to tell you something. If you deny your true nature, that is way more unhealthy than anything you could possibly imagine. You are going to be healthier spiritually, leaning into the fact that you have a food addiction and doubling down on it than you ever would trying to quell that and go the opposite direction. Have you ever seen those weight loss transformation stories? Guys who become fat and then become shredded? They're a mental catastrophe. They don't know who they are. They lost their identity. They deflated themselves. Look at Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill became a skinny guy. He's done. Jonah Hill's done. He took Ozempic, became skinny. Any fat comedian, I guarantee you, who becomes a skinny guy is no longer funny. You just became a dull butter knife. Your edge is toast. It's done. Leaning into your true nature is the only way to go through life. Most people have way too much shame surrounding this. Everyone wants that stoic, Christ-like, Grecian philosophy. It doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for everybody. The best salesman that I've ever met in my life, a jeweler in LA, was like 5'7", 280 pounds, running laps around you. I've never seen someone spilling over at the brims with energy and fire in his soul. He made more money than you. He had more energy than you. He was running laps around you. And he was a fat, didn't give a fuck about his health, didn't give a fuck about his food choices. He just leaned heavy into his edge and became a smashing success. This is the hardest thing for modern Americans to understand because everyone wants to smulch you down and bring you back into the middle. Let's use the scumbag degenerate drug addict as an example. His best shot in life is become the next Picasso. Lean into the drug use. Lean into it. Because self-resistance does not work. It never works. Anybody who resists their true nature over time, you might win the battle for years, but your nature will always come back to bite you. I've seen it thousands of times. Leaning into the edge is the only way. And look, of course your edge is a double-edged sword. Your edge can hurt you. That's the point. That's why it implodes on you if you don't extend it outwards. Your edge must be used to afflict and thrust outwards or it will destroy you. So I told my mentee, I said, lean into being the jolly fat guy because that's where all of your edge comes from. And as soon as you can ferret out the shame around that, you will be 100 times healthier in your soul than you ever would have been if you went the opposite direction. Don't ever forget that. Your true nature is everything.
Michael Jordan had a quote, something about how he missed 9,000 shots, lost X amount of games, but the reason why he succeeded is because he persevered, right? I mean, he borrowed that from Thomas Edison, who probably borrowed that from another. Einstein was cosmically designed to solve whatever problems he solved. And that was him leaning into his edge and his nature. And everyone asks me all the time, they're like, what's the deal with the nature and the edge leaning? What does that really produce? Like, what kind of fruits does it bear? And the answer is very simple. It's a mitochondria thing. Because when you're leaning into your nature and your edge, you're gonna start doing activities that don't drain you. You have this infinite mitochondrial factory where you can literally hurl yourself against a brick wall over and over and over and over and over and keep coming back for more, no matter how many times you get mauled. And in that process, there's a lot of luck that gets engineered. And that's basically literally what the fucking path to success really is. It's just reiterative. It's reiterative and just fucking engineering luck. Because what happens is there's no frailty. When you're leaning into your nature and you're picking something that you're obsessed with, there's no energy deficit, there's no energy expenditure really. This is why I said in the past, I've previously said, and there's nuance to this, that effort is gay. Effort is gay because the thing in life that you're supposed to be doing, that God designed you to solve, is effortless. It doesn't really take a lot of motivation. It doesn't take YouTube videos. It doesn't take David Goggins cussing you out to take action. It's just something that's very automatic. And there's little obstacle that can stand in your way. You're gonna wake up and you just sort of have that fury, and you're gonna go at it again, over and over and over repeatedly, and you're gonna get spit out 100 fucking times, and you're gonna come out the other side of it. So really what you can say is that your edge is really just a sort of aegis. It's sort of like a protection from devastation. When you're tackling a certain problem or trying to crack a certain piece of the human puzzle, it's nearly impossible to devastate you to a level that would get you to not take another attempt. And so Einstein, all these fucking geniuses that you see, you guys think it's because they had the fucking giga brain. Yeah, that's certainly a fucking element of it. But it's more so the fact that their mitochondria was calibrated towards tackling that same problem over and over and over until they solved that piece of the human puzzle. Now, you know how you complete humanity? You complete humanity by every motherfucker leaning into their nature, because when you do that, you do solve a piece of the jigsaw puzzle. There's a code that you're gonna crack along the way. And you're gonna basically complement, and you're gonna sort of create those edge pieces of the missing puzzle of wisdom and knowledge in the new sphere. And that's how it works. And so the people who that you consider geniuses, their contribution to humanity was solving one little border piece of that puzzle. And you all have been the benefactors of the small piece of the puzzle that I've cracked on my journey. Because I'll tell you something, the risk taking, the shit that I do, the fucking high flying, tightrope walking, no safety nets underneath, that type of shit is not for everybody. I mean, I borderline will tell you it ain't even for 99.9%. I just know it's for me. So I can relentlessly and ceaselessly kind of persist in this domain. And they used to call me at the poker table at one point, La Cacarocha, because I just never died. I never died. I was super fucking resilient. No matter what happened, no matter how many times I got my fucking clocks wrong at the poker table, I'd always come back and get it back. And that's just that resilient nature. There's no other secret than that. It's that fucking resiliency. And it's the optometry that I keep telling you about. It's the vision. It's the seeing. Once you've dealt with a certain type of denomination in life, right? If you're a guy who is always slinging 6-figure deals, 7-figure deals, you're always gonna find, you could literally strip you down. I mean, you could become naked. You could lose a lot of your quote unquote talent or even heart or even zeal for life. But the bottom line is, the reason why some life forms are just so goddamn fucking tenacious is because even when you strip them down to nothing and they don't have the confidence, they're still gonna spot the opportunities that they've been accustomed to. Do you understand how fucking powerful that is? They're not gonna settle because their standards are elevated to a certain bar and they just simply refuse to accept anything less. So they're only going to be able to create a new business from scratch that's going to deal in the same type of denominations they were dealing with previously. This is literally the key to life. This is how you hopscotch and quantum leap over all bounds and barriers. It's simply having the vision to capture those small moments of opportunity that come your way that are within the confines of what you're willing to accept and tolerate in life. Everything is about what you're willing to accept and tolerate. And that's about it. Like whatever your position is, whatever your station is, it's simply because you've accepted it. It's comfortable for you. It's okay. It's okay for you to make $4,000 a month. That's just your fucking tolerance level. It is what it is. But you know, when you breach past these walls and you actually see what's really out there, then you're only going to design your life and you're only going to architect the blueprint to lead you into those alleyways where you're sort of striking within those same circles of people, same denomination, same currency, same status, all that shit. Very difficult to walk it back once you hit those levels. We're going to zigzag here as we always do. I don't believe for a motherfucking second that all these fucking 22-year-old, 25-year-old kids have the severity of health issues that they think they do. It's insane. It's what I want to tell you is that I believe that America particularly is suffering from like a sort of collective Munchausen syndrome. And if you know what Munchausen syndrome is, it's a syndrome where effectively the parent in a household will basically inculcate a child into believing that they're always sick and they're always ill and they're always unwell. And what it does is it creates this sort of trauma bond of codependency where the child has learned helplessness, that they are unable and incapable because they're always sick. And what it does is it forces them to lean into the arms of the parent. And so the parent becomes the savior. It's sort of like that Karpman triangle. If any of you are familiar with fucking deep psychology, go look up the fucking Karpman drama triangle. The rescuer, the savior, all those little triangular fucking pieces are at play here. And so what happens is it's a very sick parent who wants the child to be totally unwell so that they constantly have to run to them to save it. But guess who's causing the injury? The parent. And so my point is, and from seeing so many fucking cases of this, if I spilled the fucking DMs that I have of dudes that are like under the age of 25 that have like crippling fucking health defects, it would blow your fucking mind. And I don't believe it. I don't believe it's true. I do think the manifestation is true and I think the symptoms are true, but I don't think fundamentally there's anything there. I think it's self-inflicted because it's way more enthralling and exciting to solve a health puzzle than it is to go chase your vision or lean into your nature or go make some money or go find a wife. You know what I'm saying? So now you just got a bunch of fucking kids at home in Reddit forums cracking health puzzles and shit. I have no doubt that society is more sicker than usual. I mean, that's just fucking obvious. That's not a stranger to anybody. But I know motherfuckers who are like intentionally manifesting sickness in their body so that they just have an excuse. They can just sort of have this linchpin and hinge their entire failure on the fact that they have a health issue, which is fucking insane. And it goes back to my point about how the internalization of pain and trauma, if you don't release it, it does manifest as cancer. It does manifest as depression. It does manifest as these illnesses that you're seeing crop up everywhere. It's motherfuckers that are literally refusing to externalize the pain into some kind of art form or some kind of creation or some kind of outlet. And, you know, that has fucking pernicious consequences. It's really not hard to do the math on this. I know a guy who used to always fucking tell me he's got ear-splitting migraine headaches. And after the fucking 5th time of him telling this to me, I had to fucking cut him off. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't have a headache. I know what you're doing. This is you're acting. This is some sympathy fucking play. This is like you manifesting victimhood in the form of a fucking migraine headache so that you have an excuse not to go lift, not to go make money, to live a fucking pitiful life. Because when you externalize things as a man, you go to the gym, you work out, that's a form of externalization. You make shit, you craft shit, you create shit, you make content, you make videos, you do spaces. You're clearing out a lot of the aqueducts in the body. It's a fact. It's just how it's literally how the biology works in men. Like I've said this over and over. Nature rewards front running more than anything else. So like you can actually have deep illnesses that are real, and you can front run the fuck out of them forever, almost endlessly until you die. And you'll be asymptomatic the entire time. It makes a lot of sense. It's why that, you know, they say a lot of centenarians that have cigarette habits and shit. A lot of people who live to 100 years old, they smoke a pack a day of cigs. They have very unhealthy habits. And the point of the matter is the cigarette is a form of medicine in the sense that it is destructive, but the cigarette itself is actually masking over the true ailment that would basically rear its ugly head if the cigarette smoking wasn't there. And so health is a lot more complicated than just simply fucking eliminating everything and thinking that you're just going to be some happy, chipper, fucking salubrious fucking being or celestial being. It's not how it fucking works. It's very complex because there's definitely a psychosocial element to health and vitality that is not really qualitative. And because of that, you know, everyone sort of has that sort of Cartesian version of health where it's like it's materialistic. It's like it's as simple as what you're ingesting and what you're expelling. And that's just simply not the case. Mindset is 100% more powerful than the illness itself. I can tell you that for an absolute fact. Yo, Nathaniel, talk to us.
What is some of your philosophy for life? Where does life emanate from? And, your perspectives on divinity, and that sort of thing.
I mean, it all kind of stems from just that edge running, man. I mean, look, I've been putting things at risk for a very fucking long time. I'm talking from a very early age. I've always been this way. And I do believe that all wisdom does reveal itself when you put yourself under some kind of threat. Because the spirit in man is extremely fucking protected. Look, the durability of the body and the mind is the shell. You can nuke the fuck out of a shell and it will never, there's no flesh-eating fucking disease that can really get down to a man's spirit and heart. That shit is 100% tucked in, miles deep. It's a fucking iceberg. And what I've learned the most is that you can nuke the fuck out of the shell. You can nuke the fuck out of your physiology and you can still keep on walking easily. I'll tell you a story. When I was in Vegas, I think it was like my 22nd birthday. I was dating a chick at the time. She was a little bit older than me. I think she was like 25. I was 22. 22nd birthday. I'm in Vegas. I'm at the Bellagio. I was there for like 3 days, but it was the day of my birthday. Had fucking $2,500 left in cash to my name. Walked up to the book, brazenly, walked up to the counter, slapped down all $2,500, every dollar in my pocket. Did a fucking 6-game baseball parlay. Asinine. Zero fucking reason or logic behind it. I was like, let's take a shot. Let's see what happens. 6 teams. It was early in the morning. They had a matinee game, and then the last game on the ticket ended at night. So we were chilling in the hotel, and I was just kind of had an eye on the games. And when I tell you that I had no fallback, I'm dead serious. Like, we didn't have flights booked home. She had a debit card, I believe, to get us back home, but we were going to basically sit there and sweat out the games and just have fun and fuck around throughout the day. Me and her get into a massive fucking argument right around like noontime. And I was wearing athletic apparel in the casino, so I didn't have pockets. And so when I got that slip, I think the bet paid like 91,000 or something. When I got that slip, I gave it to her so she could put it in her purse. So she was holding on to it. And me and her got into a gigantic fucking argument. I forget what it was about, but the bottom line is she tried to big time me. And she was like, I'm going to keep the ticket. She was like, this is my ticket now. Now, if you have half a brain, you know how casinos work. They have security footage of me walking up there and placing the bet, right? So even if that ticket hit, the chances she could walk up and cash that ticket for 91,000 are literally 0%. It would actually be considered theft. So she's got the ticket. I'm chilling. I'm big chilling. She's making a big fuss. She thinks that she just overpowered me and got me in a crimped position. And I'm just kicking back in the sports book. And she's got the ticket and she's like, you know what? She's like, I'm gonna go to security and I'm gonna tell them ahead of time that you gave me the ticket and it's mine now, and I'm gonna sign the back and it's my ticket. Biggest shit test you've ever seen in your life. She's trying to see if I'm gonna fucking panic and flip out and beg for the fucking ticket back. I said, go for it. I said, call security over right now. So she calls security over and they come over. And I was a very known player at the Bellagio at this time. I had fucking gambled millions of dollars even before, like right when I was 21, I was in there firing huge shots. So everybody knew who I was. And so she's like, he's telling me that the ticket's his, but he gave it to me, blah, blah, blah. She gets into a big fucking verbal spat with the security, and they end up, because they told her straight up, the ticket's not yours. I mean, you can hoot and holler all you want, but the ticket's his. And so seeing her little bluff flop live, she was so embarrassed that she kept escalating the situation to the point where they kicked her out of the casino and actually banned her for life and said, if you ever come back to an MGM property, we'll arrest you for trespassing. So she gets booted. She's got the ticket. I now have $0 to my name. I'm strapped in the fucking chair at Bellagio. I don't even have money to buy a fucking beer. Nothing. I got nowhere to go tonight. I don't have a fucking flight back. She was my fucking way home. And I was like, all right, let's fire up the jets. This is definitely gonna be a fucking wild ride, wild experience. But I'm telling you this because I didn't flinch. I didn't have any fear. I was like, if this ticket loses, and the absurdity of this ticket was insane. I'm holding a fucking $2,500 ticket that pays 91 grand. And it all comes down to that. It comes down to like 4 more baseball games that all have to hit, or I'm gonna have to fucking go into war mode and fucking go to a bar, meet someone, figure out how I'm gonna get a room tonight. And I was prepared to do that. So I just kind of ease into it. I'm watching the games. Boom, next one hits. Boom, next one hits. And I know she's sweating these games. I don't even know where the fuck she was. We stopped talking. She left the casino. I'm pretty sure she went to McCarran Airport and was already on her way home. She was gonna leave me stranded there to try to teach me a lesson. And I was totally fucking game for it. So, sure enough, down to the last game, and I'm actually kind of nauseated to my stomach. I almost can't even fucking watch it. Because I'm down. I remember it was the Royals was the last game. And I was down a run going into the top of the 9th. And then fucking the catcher, Salvatore Perez, steps up and fucking hits a frozen rope over the fucking left field center fence and puts me ahead by 1 in the top of the 9th. And so all I got to do is go 3 and out, bottom of the 9th, and that's a winning ticket. And that's exactly what happened. On my 22nd birthday, I won that fucking 91 G's. Literally with nowhere to go and no fallback plan. And there's a metaphysical thing here where I truly believe, and I'm not a superstitious motherfucker, but I will tell you this. The fact that I had someone rooting against me to lose so hard is the reason why I believe it fucking won. Like, I needed that. I needed her. I needed somebody to just be praying for my fucking demise, for all of those to click into place. And I know she was probably devastated and shell-shocked when that shit hit. And let me tell you something. When I cashed that 91 G's that night, I went fucking crazy. I got the fucking best, most expensive fucking steak I've ever fucking had in my life. I was tipping motherfuckers. I got the best fucking room. I had my boy fucking book it. It was insane. And I just went crazy on celebrating. And that, being in those types of positions, because look, all this fucking bullshit that people will tell you about, don't gamble more than you can afford to lose. Well, let me tell you something. That's not gambling. That is not. If you are gambling in a realm where you are playing within your means, you ain't gambling, my friend. I had everything on the line at 22. And the point of what I'm trying to tell you, to answer your question about where my philosophy comes from, it's from putting yourself in situations like that where you have so much impenetrable self-motherfucking belief that it doesn't matter what happens. It didn't matter if I lost the bet. I'm still gonna fucking find a place to stay. I'm still gonna get fed. I'm still gonna figure it the fuck out. Because I got endless energy. Endless. Divine levels of fucking energy that never escape me. Doesn't matter what I'm going through. I'm always ready. I'm ready for anything that's thrown at me. And that's the winning formula. That is the winning fucking mentality on every fucking level, is putting yourself in a pinch, putting yourself in a spot where the asymmetry is outrageous, right? I was in an unlosable situation. I wasn't worried about it. If I lost the bet, I would have figured it out, no problem. Lesson in there.
What's the biggest risk you've ever taken in your life? And then how did that pay off for you in the short and the long term?
Talking about size-wise on one bet?
Sure, whatever you feel could be, your life on the line, your financial stability on the line.
I mean, bro,
reputation.
I've always gambled with my life on the line. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I've always gambled way above my means. Any risk that I've taken has been with such conviction and passion that it's always been dire for me to win. Like, I've always been in a situation where I have no choice. I have to win because I'm so over leveraged. I'm 250% of my net worth into shit. I don't do things half-assed. I don't do things tepidly. I don't do things half-heartedly. If I'm gonna do something, I'm literally in. Not only am I in financially way over the top, I'm in with my being, I'm in with my spirit, I'm in with my soul. That's why you can't bet against a motherfucker like me, because I'll always figure it out. Give me enough time and I'll come back from anything. That's a guarantee. I've proven it to myself for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And so because I've been in those spots so many times where everything's riding on this one thing is so important, it has to hit. Many times it doesn't hit. And you're still standing there kind of breathless and you're just like, but it's all right. Because I got me. And I bet on myself every motherfucking day of the week to come back from anything. And that's it. Like, it's this mentality, like I'm trying to tell you, man, this is not a prescription. I'm not telling any motherfucker to do this shit. I'm telling you the way I've handled things my entire life has been with this strategy. If I go into something, I am biting off far more than is possible to chew, and I'm gonna figure it out along the way. I'm gonna navigate the labyrinth. And it does, it builds a tremendous amount of strength, and it does build an indomitable fucking confidence. Because it always works out. I'm always gonna hit the big score. It's impossible not to, because I put myself in a position every fucking day of my life to get lucky. Every day of the week, I'm in a position to get lucky. So it's a survival game. That's basically what life is. Figure out a way to survive, put up monster fucking shots, left, right, center, all over the place, paint the town, be a machine gun artist. Something's gonna stick for you.
I guess it was Wayne Gretzky who said it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and putting something out
That's
there,
it, man.
putting something
Shoot or
for
shoot.
it, then it increases your odds and your probabilities of coming into some form of success. I mean,
shoot or shoot, brother. Let me tell you something. The reason why when you lean into your nature and you're doing things you're obsessed with, like obviously I love gambling, I love betting, anything in that domain, crypto, all that bullshit. A guy like me, there's no clock to punch out of. I'm on the clock 24 hours a day. In my sleep, I'm solving problems. When I'm relaxed on the couch and my girl is talking to me and she's asking me, are you relaxing? I tell her, fuck no, I'm never relaxing. When I'm sitting on the couch, laying down, whenever the fuck I'm doing, pacing, smoking, my brain is always solving problems. 24 hours a day. It never fucking stops. I don't want to relax. Everyone's like, bro, you're so fucking intense. You're high strung. You don't want to relax. I'm like, brother, I'll relax maybe when I'm 70. I don't even think I'm in my physical prime yet, by the way. I really don't even think I've hit my prime. I'm 37 in July. The energy wheels that I have are fucking insane. I mean, I don't really get tired. I don't really get fatigued anymore. If I am sick, if I am ill with some sort of ailment or something severe, I wouldn't even know it because I'm front running nature. I guarantee you, if I did go get my heart checked, I bet you my aorta has some fucking issues from the fucking life I've lived. I've lived that intense, maximum intensity life for the entire time. But brother, me going to a doctor and getting that diagnosis ain't gonna fucking change a goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? I'll outlive it. I'll outlive the fucking ailment. Guaranteed.
what do you think?
What
do you think causes someone to seek or want that title or diagnosis from their doctor?
It's affirmation, man. It's affirmation.
And why would someone seek that kind of affirmation from a doctor?
Because a lot of people have genuinely never experienced what it's like to be passionate about anything. And so when you give them a problem that seems like it's slightly not overcomable, they feel alive. They feel alive. People want to be diagnosed. People want you to tell them all the reasons why they're sick and fucked up and incapable. Because then it justifies their entire fucking existence, justifies an out. It's like, I knew it. That's the reason why I haven't been motivated. The guy that I was telling you about the other day that was telling me about how every time he accepts a huge opportunity in his life, he gets sick. I'm not even joking. He's like, dude, every time I make something happen or I'm on the cusp of a breakthrough, he's like, I'll literally get like a fucking nasty flu or a nasty cold. That's when I knew it was total bullshit. But my point to him was, because he was trying to tell me, he's like, yeah, but I don't have any energy. He's like, I don't have the vitality to go after these things in life. He's like, I literally wake up and I'm just super fucking lethargic and catatonic. I don't have the energy. And I told him, he's got it ass backwards. You have to do things in order to generate energy. That's the secret to life. It's like everyone thinks they have to have these endless wells of energy to take action. It's like, nah. I go to the fucking gym. I don't want to be there. I have no energy sometimes. And I force myself into the gym, take an empty bar out of the rack, fuck around with it, warm up, get some fucking mobility, get some blood flowing. Guess what? After 20 minutes, I'm now throwing weight on the bar. Then it's like, bang, hit a 200-pound snatch. Wasn't that tough. Boom, 250. Fuck, that was easy. 280, done, smoked it. 290 on the bar now, nailed it. 300, boom, stood up with it again. How did that happen? I walked in the gym and I would have told you I would have had one of the worst lifting days of my life based on how I felt. You know what I mean? And this goes back to the sort of metaphysics and the technology of talent that I'm explaining to you. is it ain't talent. 95% of the success is just showing up. Like, you show up, you're there, I'm already in the gym. Now I'm gonna start forcing myself to fucking attack the weight. But I had no energy when I walked in. And so what's the difference there? It's the mindset. That was all manufactured in my head. Why I was able to lift 300 pounds when earlier that day I would have told you that 200 would have felt like it crushed me. And I've had this experience over and over again. So that's what I told him. I was like, bro, you have to start showing up and start seizing opportunities, and that will give you the energy. There's a reason why people who do more have more energy.
It's like a continuous like building of the frequency and momentum. So going back to the desire for someone to seek some sort of title or a diagnosis, do you feel like as though it's a bit of a battle against yourself, and rather than going and battling for yourself?
No, so that's the true power, the fundamentals of leaning into your nature is that there's no self-resistance. You don't have to tell yourself no on anything, because your whole body's going to calibrate to hit the home run, because you're doing something that you literally cannot not do. It goes back to that Carl Jung quote that is my favorite, where he said, "Fate is doing willingly that which you must do." Best quote of all fucking time. Fate is doing willingly that which you must do. If you're paying attention, it's codified. There's a blend of free will in that. And so really, a lot of what this boils down to is actually staying the fuck out of your own way. You know, telling yourself no is the weakest structure in the world. It's never going to happen. That's why I don't like when people tell me the promises that they make to themselves. Like, if anyone in my inner circle, anyone that I deal with, when someone tells me, when someone gives me an if and or clause, or like one of those Boolean clauses where they're like, hey, once this happens, I'm never going to do this again, I know they're destined to fail. It's over. You already fucked yourself. All those grand proclamations that people make, they don't work. They don't work. It's very similar to like when you try to quit smoking, you're never gonna quit. It's never gonna happen. Like it just has to happen naturally. There's just like a day you might wake up and you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore, and it's easy. But if you have to grind the gears against yourself constantly to not engage in things, you're living life completely incorrectly. Because what you're doing is you're just raping your fucking energy sources. That's what you're doing. It's totally anti-gravity. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sort of self-defiance will lead to like a self-betrayal. Your body's just going to betray you. And there's people that employ these strategies all day. They literally have to talk themselves out of doing things all fucking day long. It's just, they have to constantly fucking resist temptation. And what do you think the end result of that is? There's going to be a blind spot one day where you just ain't strong enough to resist the temptation. And then you know what you're going to do? You're going to go on the biggest bender of your fucking life, and you're going to end up where you would have been if you just did it, if you just started it fucking 2 years ago. You're going to end up right where you belonged in the first place. All you did is delay the inevitable. Temptation is powerful, man. Temptation is very powerful in the sense that there are certain temptations that will guide you toward what your nature is. And if you constantly find yourself in a position in life where you're resisting temptation at all fronts, you just ain't living right. You ain't living in harmony with your nature. And the consequences are more dire to deny your nature than they are by leaning into it. They're both dangerous. Every lifestyle you choose is dangerous. I'm here to tell you that. It's just which one has more upward mobility. Your nature. Simple. I'm gonna move on. Appreciate you. Yo, Homer Helios. Helios, you're up.
Hey man, can you hear me? What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, man. So I heard something on a podcast recently, and I feel like it fits in well here. It was this guy said, "I would rather learn the lesson without the scar." And naturally, your philosophy came to mind, and I feel like that statement is just very representative of the type of youth that you're describing. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that quote.
He said he'd rather learn the lesson without the scar.
Yeah. Like just kind of, which doesn't really make sense. I don't even know if that's possible, right? Because scars create lessons. So I wanted to see what you think of that philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, look, the whole thing about people are more likely to learn from their mistakes is a total fucking lie. The more you make a mistake, the more likely you are to repeat it. And the true winners in life know that you can fuck up drastically and still win in many fucking domains if you're relentless. You know what I'm saying? Because mistakes are a lot of leverage. Mistakes do hold a ton of fucking power and leverage, especially if you want to be triumphant and avenge a loss or whatever. And so, like, this is the beauty of being a man, brother. Like, you want to talk about fucking masculinity and manhood? Here it is for you. You can, everything for a man is so fucking paradoxical. You could literally have every part of your body as a man mutilated and ugly as fuck, head to toe, and still be handsome. As a man, you can fuck up billions of times in your own business and still exit huge into payoff space. These things exist. These things are real for men. It's the reconciliation of opposites. And the sooner that you understand that, I mean, look, there's motherfuckers who literally mistake their way into riches.
Yeah.
Literally fuck their way up all the way into the bag. That's a fucking head scratcher. But if you sit there and think about it, it's true. I remember seeing a quote, I think Martin Shkreli said it, about whoever the fuck the original creator of Twitter was before Musk. He said that guy drove a clown car into a gold mine. And I love that fucking quote. He drove a fucking clown car into a gold mine. And what it means is the motherfucker was just throwing up shots. He's just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what fucking sticks.
Yeah.
Bang, landed on Twitter.
Yeah, just straight shooting from the hip.
100%, man.
All right, brother.
That's the masculine thing, dude. Like, the whole masculine imperative really does boil down to that. It boils down to shooting from the hip, and then wherever the shots land. I also think attachment to outcome is extremely powerful for men. I don't really believe. I think that if you attach to the result, I think the results are usually a lot better because it has to hurt. Has to.
Definitely.
Like, anything that I get involved with, I'm very attached. And if it doesn't work out, it does sting. It does sting. And that's been a superpower that I've been able to fucking leverage time and time.
Yeah, and that would be that scar that he's referencing. And that's kind of what you're leveraging to lean into your edge rather than like wanting to skip that process entirely.
I mean, it goes back to what I was just saying about the body is just a shell. I mean, the male body should be fucking riddled with scars and should be fucking mangled as you climb up the mountain. It has to be. For the spirit to really shine through and start to take over and guide you, there has to be a depth gauge or some sort of level in the body where your body is torn to pieces and you just can't think clearly anymore and your body's like half functioning and now your spirit just takes over and wills you to the fucking finish line. It's just that most people will never be able to tap into the reservoir and the power of that because they're too afraid to let their body deteriorate to win. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm talking advanced stages of evolution as a man. Any advanced stage of evolution, you want to talk about an artist they are literally cannibalizing their body, cannibalizing their mind. Things are deteriorating in order for their spirit to guide them. Because it really doesn't kick in when you have too much of that overlay. This is why I was saying, if you've noticed these guys who are obsessed with fucking health and vitality, they don't fucking do anything. They have no motivation. The motivation's been cropped. It's fucked. It's been truncated. So it's like, you gotta pick one. Do you want to win, or do you want to be a toy soldier and have a perfectly immaculate, beautiful body that has no fucking blemishes on it? Pick one, because you can't have both.
Yeah, that's definitely real, man. Thank you, brother.
And look, health, I do want to reiterate this, health and vitality are extremely fucking important. You know, I put a lot of fucking stock in health myself. I eat extremely well. I always have. I take really good fucking care of the vehicle, simply because I need more rope to chew through when I'm taking risks and I'm stressed out. But that's all I see it as. I see my body as a vessel to be sacrificed for a greater fucking cause.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if both my knees are blown out and I'm in a wheelchair if I got 4 gold medals on the wall. That's my mentality.
True, man.